that it's a matter of putting our resources where they will do the best job. Our young people are becoming increasingly aware of the world around them and are more interested than ever before in making a meaningful contribution to their society, even at an early age. But what about education? With manufacturing and heavy industry crying for a place to locate, we're offering virtually no courses in technical schools which will train our young people for those jobs. With an increasing challenge from bright young minds in your classrooms, a real thirst for knowledge and opportunity, you as teachers sometimes spend as much time filling out reports and taking up money as you do in giving classroom instruction. We have arrived at a time when our people demand that we as leaders in education and government reevaluate our needs and our goals and tailor our education system to meet those needs. This really gets to the heart of what I mean by quality education. And that's why I've said time and time again that money alone is not the answer to our educational problems in Alabama. As we work to find additional revenue sources for education, we're beginning to realize that state government is fast approaching the limits of its capacity to support public education with new sources of revenue. In the past, the state has more than fulfilled its share of this burden. So now if we're going to make further progress, local people and local officials are going to have to assume more of this responsibility. It stands to reason that if local people have a vested interest in their local school system, they will be more than willing to support its efforts and ensure that it has adequate resources. So I hope that part of our educational program will include provisions for local support based on the ability of local people to pay. One particular area I have in mind here is the matter of pupil-teacher ratios, an area which I'm afraid has fallen victim to the traditions of the past. We seem to have assigned some magic significance to this concept, which has, at least in secondary education, prevented us from taking bold new administrative steps to meet the problems of the crowded classroom. For years we've been told that a teacher cannot function properly with a classroom load of more than 25 children. But progressive educators tell us that this is not a fixed rule in every case. For example, a high school social studies teacher could lecture effectively to as many as 75 pupils at one time, as our colleges do, while an advanced mathematics or foreign language teacher might be able to handle only 12 to 15 students effectively in each class. At the same time, we must concentrate our efforts at reducing the classroom load in our elementary schools. Here, where young minds are forming their first impression of the educational system, where the habits of learning are being taught for the first time, we desperately need to reduce the teacher load that is now handicapping your efforts. Sources are the basic building blocks of a good school system. It is what we can... I have previously stated that I thought legislation was needed to strengthen the Public Service Commission and the administrative and technical staff of the Commission. I still adhere to that view. I'm not certain. I don't like to propose taking an elected office away from the people under any circumstances, and I believe that it's better for the Commission to be elected by the people. At the same time, I feel that the Commission should be responsive to the people and protect the people's interests in matters that come before the Commission. Appropriate additional funds so that the technical staff could be beefed up. Some consideration must be given to raising the salaries involved so that people who are truly experts in the field of rate regulation could be employed by the Commission. This is a highly technical field, and the Commission staff is, first of all, short-handed, and secondly, it's dealing with rate experts who come before it in hearings who are among the highest paid technical people in this entire nation, while we're working under merit system regulations on the employment of technical staff and simply can't go out and get the people that we need. We have some fine people on the staff. We simply don't have enough of them to keep up with all of the details that come before the Commission from day to day.
And I submit that you have the responsibility of whether your boy or girl finishes high school or finishes the university or Auburn or Tuskegee or Alabama State, wherever he graduates from, or whether he does graduate or not. The few short years that you have him in your classrooms, you have the responsibility of developing the whole personality of that individual. Because he's the man that's going to come out and vote for or against me, as he should. He's the man that's going to get out and decide who are going to be the leaders of this state, and what's going to be the political direction of this state. And what armaments does he have except what you gave him in school, his parents gave him at home, and the church gave him down on the corner?
It makes it very difficult in trying to allocate funds. These people knew when they testified before the interim committee that they weren't going to get the monies they asked for. They asked for over $1 billion for the next biennium for education. And really it's not fair to the members of the committee and to the members of the legislature who must make allocations of funds to have to come back and try to appropriate monies really where they can't use the budget request at all as an indication unless they're just going to cut each one on a percentage basis. If they take that approach, then this works an injustice on those who have come in and fairly accurately stated their needs, because those who have ballooned their request, then if they're reduced proportionately, will still get a great advantage. I don't know what approach the legislature will take, nor what we'll take in making recommendations, but certainly we can't use their request as any basis for recommended appropriations because they were so out of line with reality. We're just not certain at this time.
It is possible, then, Governor, that you may announce a special session Thursday.
Not likely.
There's some men going around in outer space out there right now, and I can't even conceive of how they got up there, let alone how they're going to get down. But I suggest to you the students from Alabama State are going to have to learn how they got up there and how they got down if they're going to compete in a new day with new energy for a new life. Where does this connect you as administrators and principals and me as a politician? I think the line is very clear. It's got to be from me through you to these youngsters who I submit to you are smarter than you and I ever were. I submit to you that they are more concerned, more moral, more understanding than you and I ever were. But I suggest to you that they need to know that you and I care. They need to know that you and I want them to be full participants in life. And if they're going to be, you, and when you finish with them, Dr. Watkins or Dr. Foster or Dr. Philpott or Dr. Rose, whoever gets them, and they're going to be fighting for them, as you know, whoever gets them is going to have to make their education to them relevant to everyday life. as we work together, oftentimes within this establishment, and I say we've got to work within the establishment to rebuild. Some people think you've got to burn to the ground to rebuild. I say some 2x4s might need to be changed, or some more bolstering might need to be put under the foundation. But I don't think you need to destroy to build.
Visit time to come and be with us today and to give us an opportunity to share with you
Alabama ranks either close to or at the bottom among the 50 states of the United States. It is undeniable, I believe, that our children are not receiving an equal opportunity for educational study, advance, and progress with those of many other states around us. The Commission, as a first step, determined that we would try to compare Alabama with the southern regional states, that we would try to produce a program which would bring us to the southern regional average. We came forth with recommendations after 15 months of study that indicated that it would require $201 million to bring Alabama educational opportunity to the level of the southern regional average.
Well, no, it wouldn't be a failure because, you know, it's like when you're hungry. You may not always get all you want to eat, but a little bit keeps you going, you know. But I am saying this, that we will fail the people of Alabama and the young people of Alabama if we do not get at least $75 million.
The big inequities in education in Alabama are represented by the institutions of higher learning, not all together. We have plenty in public elementary and secondary schools, but Dr. Rose and Dr. Philpott tell me that they this year have on the University and Auburn campuses 1,000 or more students than they had last year, with identically the same appropriations. Well, where are they getting the money to educate those children? They're simply taking it away from the services that they had that they were able to afford last year. There's no other way they could get it. That's an inequity, isn't it? To improve the quality or the offerings on our university campuses, on our college campuses, are other inequities to which we have reference. The increased appropriations for vocational education, wherein we can increase by, say, $4 million and pick up another $12 million in federal money. Increased appropriations for crippled children and adult rehabilitation. where we can invest another $1.5 million in state monies and pick up another $4 million in federal money. And on and on.
I simply have not given any consideration to what can happen. There'll be no teacher strike at Auburn University because they'll just leave. They're not, at the higher education level, they're just not going to stay around. There's too much demand. Now, not all of them will leave because not all of them will get offered, but the ones I want to keep, but many of them are going to be leaving. What reaction there is among teachers otherwise, I haven't thought about, because in one real sense of the word, it's too horrendous to even contemplate. I just don't believe people